Good morning. Thanks for joining us. Devan, I wanted your thoughts first on HDFC Bank. That's the stock which is now again showing signs of leadership for last 2 days. Any thoughts here?
Yeah, Anuj, good morning. Well, I have always maintained that some of the lenders, I think, have gone a little bit conservative during this challenging times of pandemic in expanding their loan book. And one of them is definitely HDFC Bank, along with, I think, companies like Bajaj Finance. They remain, I think, extremely careful in expanding the loan book. Now, with the unlocking of the economy happening, and I think the business conditions improving, I think these lenders have once again started getting into the proper uh, growth growth activities as far as I think expanding the loan book is concerned. So that is one good thing about these people, that they conserve their resources when the time is not so favorable. Uh, this is the important point, and I would think that I think given the kind of a situation in which the economy is already entered into, maybe all promises that somewhere in this particular quarter and the second half of the financial year, I think SME, MSME segment included, we are likely to see the larger amount of credit growth in the consumer finance. And that is where I would think that I think likes of HDFC Bank, Bajaj Finance, they will have relatively better time going forward. I guess I think that's a reason for which I think the market is now favoring them. Of course, many of these banking stocks have remained on the sideline for some good time, and that's where the traders have also got an entry into it, I think, given the kind of a price opportunity that they got in recent times.
Okay, Deven, hi, good morning. I wanted your thoughts on Titan and the Q1 update. Sure, the numbers are strong on a low base, but the stock is trading at 72 times FY23. You think it deserves to trade at this much?
Yeah, Sonia, good morning. Well, I think Titan has never been trading cheap. So I think that question probably I think would always remain whether an expensive valuation for the stock will continue. I guess I think the way in which they organize retailing for the jewelry business is now happening, and the likely demand scenario in the second half of the financial year after this vaccination process, I think more and more such kind of functions, including marriage functions, are likely to be basically taking place, which may have remained pending last year due to this scenario. So that is again suggesting that the demand scenario of the jewelry business is likely to remain, I think, extremely strong. And not to forget that the lifestyle products portfolio of Titan gradually, I think, is inching up. So that is an area where probably I think the higher amount of excitement is there. Valuation will always remain a concern, but in my viewpoint, I think the potential remains high, given the kind of the organized retailing for the jewelry business moving now extremely in favor of companies like Titan.
Okay. Well, do stay on, Deven. We have our Momentumizer segment, and Agam is joining us. Agam, what's on your list?
Well, on my radar today, I have a telecom equipment maker, Telelinks, and well, it has seen a lot of traction off late. In fact, it is up as much as nearly 16% in the last 5 days. Yesterday, it closed at a life high, and we did see a lot of volumes build up as well, moving in. As far as volumes are concerned, we are looking at 5-day average volumes at nearly 2 times as compared to the 1-month volumes. Similarly, deliverable volumes are also double of what we've seen in the last 1 month. In the near term, as far as your support's concerned, that's around 1256, which is the 5-day low. And similarly, a further out one, it'll be around 1215, which is the 20 daily moving average. The reason why we've seen a sharp up move is because of an improvement in its earnings in the last quarter, as well as expectations of improvement going ahead. And that's the reason why it's come up on my radar on Momentumizers today.
Okay, Deven, telecom equipment maker, Telelinks. Any thoughts on this? And while discussing that, what about, something like in the same sector, like Sterlite Technologies?
Well, I think, Lata, as you mentioned, something like Sterlite Technology probably, I think, remains, I think, in a very favorable kind of a situation. Stronger order book, higher amount of growth projections, the 5G rollouts, all of these are basically becoming, I think, extremely important for these kind of companies who are having the higher abilities to supply the fiber optic cables and also the solution for networking, etc. They've been winning successfully, I think, some of the larger orders, not only from companies like Jio alone, but also from BharatNet, where they are putting in significant, and including from Navy. I think they've been putting significant amount of business expansion. So would remain confident. In fact, I think the commentary coming in from even Himachal Futuristic also on the supplying of the equipment as well as the cable has remained extremely positive. So these companies are likely to see relating the higher amount of growth going forward. And definitely likes of Starlight Technology, Himachal Futuristic, both of them remaining, I think, at the forefront as far as I think this business scenario is concerned.
Okay, Deven, I wanted your thoughts on a stock which has been moving up quite a bit. Yesterday there was some profit taking, but Gen Irrigation, any thoughts on what could be happening in this stock and the way it's been moving up?
So Anuj, I think as I understand, I think that the debt restructuring program probably for Gen Irrigation has been completed. And I think they have probably worked out one of the best win-win formula, as I would probably understand. On one side, the immediate repayment program is not likely to happen. On the other side, I think some of the long tenure, approximately about 30% of the loan book, I think the program for paid repayment would be, I think, at the end of 7 or 8 years, and I think at a very nominal rate of interest. The other component of the debt has probably got restructured at a sub 10%, somewhere around 9% kind of a cost. I think it has got restructured into. So from a perspective of looking at the kind of a debt-ridden company is getting restructured now. So that is relatively positive. Their operations also got affected in the last year, but hopefully I think the current year the things are looking much better for most of the pipe manufacturers also, and I think including Gen Irrigation. The irrigation business per se itself, I think, is commanding relatively better amount of business outlook. All the company need is, I think, good amount of financial management. If they do so, I think the potential remains extremely high for this company. However, I think would like to understand more in detail from the company management about the entire debt restructuring program, and then probably I think one can take up on. But yes, I think the worst seems to be over for this company. That's what my understanding is.
Okay, worst seems to be over. Deven, stay on. We have two IPOs opening today, so very interesting. A lot of action in the primary markets. We have one of them joining us now. Road Engineering, Procurement and Construction Company GR Infrastructure opens its IPO today. It's a 963 crore issue with a price band set at 828 to 837 per share. We have Vinod Kumar Agarwal, who is the chairman of GR Infrastructure, who joins us now. Mr. Agarwal, good morning. Can you start by telling us, with an order book of almost around